Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in, guys. My glasses are crooked here. What the heck? All right. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. As I noted a while ago, we are going to talk about what's going on with this. Holy cow. We're going to talk about CS63. Been having a lot of fun with this tank. It's really fast. It's got the special press the X turbo mode. Goes 75 kilometers an hour. You can see I'm doing 73 right now. I'm here on airfield. Now what's going to follow here is, it could end up being quite long because we're going to talk about a lot of different maps, a lot of different things. I got a lot of great RAM footage in here. But I started playing this tank and thought to myself, what can we do with all this speed on a medium tank? Are there disruptive places we can go? Can we change the meta on some maps? Not necessarily the overall meta, but in the match it's in, can it change what's going to happen a little bit meta-wise on some of these stale lockdown metas, especially at tier 10? The answer is sort of. It probably is better to play it more in a meta way, but it has some capabilities in that meta that other mediums don't have, purely via its speed, in taking early positions, in repositioning and getting to other places on the map. The other thing I learned is you can absolutely overextend 100,000 million%. You're going to get plenty of that as well. We're going to talk about the maps that I have footage on. This one is airfield. We're spawned into the west side. And as I'm raging through here, well, the meta move would be get up on this ridge right here, up on this little hill, and start working. But as I was raging through here with the first video, I thought, well, why not let's just go balls to the wall and try to do something really weird. So off we go. The problem with most of the balls to the wall weird stuff is it's for to get you dead. All right, it ain't gonna work. But we'll just show this. I'll come across here. There's a VZ. I fully expected that somebody would be there. He thumps me, although I get away with it. He does get me with the second shot, and then we have an RHM. I totally missed that the RHM was right there. It's going to take me all. But look at what I've done. I've lit their 50-51 moving around. Their grill is going to have a hard time crossing right there. And because of its speed, I was able to get in here and stop this guy from crossing. Now, this is going to go poorly, so I don't really stop him from crossing. He's kind of sitting there. Again, I don't know that the RHM is there. I completely missed that until later on. You'll see where I figure it out. Notice also that when you're in full speed, you've got a really large dispersion circle. I had to hit X, go into combat mode or slow speed. Oh, by the way, you're still doing 60. All right, it feels sluggish after you're doing 75, but it will still do 60. And now, fairly long reload. Make that guy miss. Hit the grillet and kind of tuck up. So this is going to end up being kind of a fun little thing just to check it out. That's where I noticed the stupid RHM, and now I know I'm in big trouble. So I thump him, trying to avoid as much as possible the grillet hitting me. I don't have a lot of good options here. I'll just keep thumping him. The DPM's pretty decent on the thing. He misses, thank goodness, otherwise I'd pretty much be done. Actually, I guess he did track me right there. I think we're going to get the RHM dead. There we go. But I don't last much longer, right? The grill's in pretty good shape. And then he gets a buddy coming at me with the TVP. And that is pretty much what happens at tier 10 when you really overextend and go to weird spots. Now, I thought after this that one possibility is to jump up into this corner into B0, get hold down and kind of hold them off. Probably get bombed to snot by Artie. Right now I'm already safe more or less from where the Artie would be in this game. But as you can see, not an amazing result there, 2,000 damage. So one of the things you can do with the speed is overextend. But it was cool trying to figure out where those spots were on maps that I think we've all been on a million times and kind of know where to go. So let's see what else we got. All right, in this next example, we're on Ghost Town, Dorf, Himmels. We're on assault. We only have 10 minutes, so you can see it's just started. I just want to show you taking a standard position. And most fast mediums or light tanks will try to get up here. Not most, but it is one of the spots that those kinds of tanks can get to. I'm in fast mode. Look at, I'm doing 75, 76 going downhill. The thing about this tank is in the speed, and there are a couple tanks who are close. A Leopard can kind of do some similar stuff, but it's so fast that it gets to light tank places as a medium tank, which means it can dominate light tanks. Now, usually an enemy light tank doesn't come up to this spot, but I wanted to show this because I actually got here around that corner and into this position before I got spotted. Now, it may very well be that they simply didn't send anybody down here to K6, but we're pretty soon going to have a Conqueror, Super Conqueror, trying to head up here, the Super Conqueror right there. But I just want to show you that's a possibility with this tank, is to get to spots first unspotted and surprise people that you're there. So we're going to get some shots on guys down below who are moving into, I go to combat mode right there. So we'll pop out, use the considerable view range on this thing, and see if we can't catch anybody coming through this hole right here. I get a little unlucky there with the bounce. Back out. Don't get spotted because he doesn't have very good view range, thank goodness. Now we're waiting for somebody else maybe to come through here. I'm just now getting a T-54 and RHMB kind of coming up to help me. No shots on that guy. I think I get one shot in here on somebody. And then we'll fast forward. But something to think about, places that you can get. And it is good to get to these places unspotted because they don't know I'm here, right? Which means they could potentially make mistakes that allow me to get free shots until I'm spotted. Now here comes the Super. He's kind of making a mistake. We have -8 gun depression, so that's very useful, and it just plain old misses. That's unfortunate. I do have to watch out being shot in the back, so we'll just fast forward a little bit because we're going to take down this Super Conqueror. There he goes. I go to fast mode, right? So this is one of the things about this tank, switching back and forth. It takes 2 seconds. You can tell because I've got the little golden thing going on. It's silver if you're not in fast mode, turbo, and now I'm going to head down that way. So it looks like the Scorpion killed that dude, and we're just going to push up underneath. And this is another thing that this tank does, is the ability to cover, move forward, and gobble up some map. So we're just going to rage on in here. There we go. Finally sees me. So everybody get away from him. There's the Type 69. Go into combat mode. With the -8 gun depression, works pretty well. So I'm going to fight these dudes. I come after this T-69. I do get chewed up by the T-69, but I think I just died right there. I get chewed up quite a bit by the T-69 trying to kill him, but I need to get rid of this dude. That was way too high, gave him too many shots. I take a hit. Scorpion G hammers me. That hurt. Another shot from the T-69, and another shot, and we're able to get out of there just barely, and then the Leopard kills me. So over aggressive in trying to clear out the T-69, but pretty quickly gobbling up the map control down there. We actually end up winning this game. I believe it is the 279 early does some really, really good work, and we end up winning. So I don't do a whole bunch of damage, but again, another possibility. The push down low is just being hyper aggressive, trying to see what the speed can do. In a smarter situation where I don't come up there and let multiple people hit me, I probably live. I could have continued to work back here just a little bit, but you can see the possibilities right there. I found this map to be one of the most useful maps for this speed, just by being able to get up in here, and I have won a bunch more games on this map with this tank. Now I'm top tier once again, but you can see that we're here on Pearl River, and I've spawned into over on the west side. I was able to come straight across, come right up that ramp as fast as the T-92, and now we've got myself and a T-92 who have come up here, and we're grabbing this position. Hit X, get into combat mode, spin around, and now wait for anyone who might come up. I've had multiple instances of this. You can absolutely surprise their light tanks when they come up here because they don't expect a medium to already be up here. Come over here and maybe shoot some guys on the side. That's a miss, and then I get blocked by this guy. Get a little bit irritated, and then holy cow, here comes an FV. He doesn't even really know we're here, right? We didn't get spotted. And I didn't get spotted there, so this is what I wanted to show you here. Guys come up here and they don't even know you're here. So he does now. He sees me. I'm able to put a shot on him. This was a real bummer. If the Kunze had turned around and helped me, we could have taken this guy out pretty easily. And now I'm fighting an FV, which is not much fun. We got a shot on him. And there goes the Kunze. I don't know why he didn't come help me. It's just very painful. The whole thing just really makes me a bit grumpy. I get a bounce there. That sucks. And now I'm going to try to get away, which I'm not going to be able to. Try to use the building. Get boom. So while on the one hand, this is a good example because I'm able to surprise the guy. On the other hand, that's a bummer that I bounced. He misses, thank goodness. On the other hand, it's a good example of overextension, right? So he ends up killing me right here. All right. So, example of both things. If the Kunze had not, I don't know what he's doing. He just bails out. He's over here shooting, or he's gone down low. It's hard to understand. If he'd have stayed up there, we'd have had this guy. All right. Erlenberg-Dorf. Assault on attack. Pushing over here to the east side. Fairly common place to go. Very fast tank. Is going to get there faster than they might expect. And I just wanted to show this portion of this because watch how fast I get there doing 75 straight up the hill. If you look at what they've got, they don't even have a scout, so I'm not worried about that. The fastest tank they have is the Leopard 1, but watch what happens here. I'm able to actually get up into the trees, hit X, get into combat mode, sneak forward a little bit, and lo and behold, what do I find? Well, their other fastest tank. I got here first. I actually had a longer drive, so he may have been on the other side. Spawns are important, but the point here is that I got here before a fast tank did, and he's thinking that he can come up over, take a look, and pop back over and probably not have a problem. And I'm able to put a shot doing the double bush. I get some spotting, I get some damage, and we're off to the races with some early damage on these guys. Here's the first ram I want to show you, and this is before I sort of set the tank up for ramming right here. So we're just going to come in here. We got the speed mode going on. We're going to make a little bit of a turn. We're coming at this guy. We ram him. And we do a pretty decent amount of damage at 344. Not bad. We're not able to get up to a full speed ahead kind of thing, and I hadn't quite set it up for ramming. I'm not even sure if I had controlled impact at the time. You can clearly see this is a loss, but I just wanted to show the old ram thing. I think I get thumped pretty hard. Yeah, so he hits me, and I end up dying. Corellia-Dorf. This is probably one of the maps that has most options for a fast tank. And I want to show you what you're able to do with this thing, because if you go down to the donut, to the hill down here, typically with your standard mediums, because their mediums are about as fast, you're going to see each other. Now, they do have, I think, a light tank, and neither one of them come. So if one of the light tanks come, more than likely they'll catch me. But I wanted to show you this because going back to what I was talking about, where you can actually get to spots unseen and be a little more effective in terms of surprising them. Now, this is a sellout move to a large extent. Used to be this hill was pretty important to this game, but the north has become more. I did consider going north, but we sent nobody that way. So you're selling out to get here, right? You have to, you're all in. It's hard to get away. You might be able to go off the back edge or something, but you can see that I've gone by and I have not been spotted right there. And what that allows you to do, so I see the 277. I'm going to cross straight over here, and I'm glad that he doesn't come straight up the hill. The reason I'm going all the way over here before I engage him is these dudes. They're going to have shots on my back. So I go to combat mode right there. He's not coming up. He's kind of engaging the 215 or the Udez, and he has no idea that I'm here. Get a little bit unlucky here with a bad shot. Kind of rush that. I'm also going to get shot in the back by the guys across there because I'm not really paying attention. Look, he doesn't really know that he's being hit by me until about right there. Now I make a mistake. I come back up and I put myself into a position where I can be shot by those guys. Now the 277 is coming up. So great, you took a position, but now I'm overextended basically. So I really like this capability, but you've got to be careful, and you do sometimes need support. People put out videos all the time. Don't rely on your teammates. Don't put yourself in positions where you can't be supported. But I do have a ton of guys back there, and it looks like they've stuffed anyone who might be trying to come up. So I need to try to figure out how I can get rid of this 277 if I can. So where is this dude? There he is. So we sneak a shot on him. We back up. Unfortunately, the north is uncontrolled, and this is a bit of a bummer. So we'll put a shot on him there. He hits me hard. And now we're just brawling with this dude. So I have to leave, right? I'm like, well, I have no option. I don't want to just sit there and get shot multiple times. We get hit, I'll detract myself. Holy cow. And it looks like it's all over, right? So we'll just go ahead and here, we'll hit this dude. Here he comes trying to ram me. No, don't do it. Just able to get away. And the DPM. So the next thing I wanted to talk a little bit about is the DPM on this thing is pretty fantastic. It's not quite STB levels, but it's actually really, really good. 390 alpha. 6 second or so reload, and I'm actually able to outfight that 277 who decided to come up there. And now the E100 is not even paying attention. He has no idea that I'm there. And unfortunately for me, the IS-7 says, nope, you're done. You're out of here. So definitely some capabilities, but yes, you can get overextended, and based on that end right there, I was. Steeps. I think this one has some possibilities as well. I'm already lit. that light's probably going to be there the whole rest of the replay, but it's a replay bug that happens if you go back and forth a couple times. You could go up the middle. I don't think there's a lot of utility to that, potentially, but it's all tier 10, bunch of arty, so not probably the greatest idea. There are some possibilities over on the west side to get forward. If you're from the south spawn, getting to this rock right here, and then get into the bush, although that bush is not nearly as good as it used to be. The other option from the north is to come into these rocks, but you're really exposed right there, and if they push any across, you're going to get wiped out with no support. So possibility on that side. I think the better possibility is over on this side. Yeah, you're going to have that annoying light bulb going off the whole time. So as I came this way, I thought, all right, what do I want to do? Do I want to get down low real quick and maybe get a sneaky shot on somebody? The turret's okay on this thing. I think even getting there first isn't going to be a big deal. And I'm talking about the lower level down here because anyone who's peeking around is only going to show their turret. So it doesn't really matter how fast you are. Both of you are only going to see a turret. So what I come to the conclusion of is I wonder if I can spot as I go across here. Then I'll dodge low so I don't get shot in the side. And then I'll swing around this corner. Mock Snot. Look at that, just side scraping or side slipping right there. And we'll come into this little nook. And the point being is let's go ahead and get some spots on these guys. So I've got to go into combat mode. So I hit X. Just so you know, while you're at speed, you hit X, it will slam on the brakes and slow you down. You will slide a little bit. So we're coming up here looking for shots. I don't get one. And I do get a return fire from Leopard. So again, a lot of these forward positions are exposing yourself to people who are camping in bushes. We got guys hold down right here, but they're going to find me highly annoying. Again, this is an overextended position if you don't have support, and I don't have a lot of it. Now look how many guys are camping up here. So they're going to be pretty interested, the purples, in getting rid of me and peeling me out of this corner right here. We're going to wait a little bit, see if we can speed this up. Kind of watching what's going on. Hanging out here, looking for shots, shooting into bushes and things. And I think this 7201 finally gets, there he goes. So the 71201 gets tired of it, and he comes in. So now we start fighting these dudes. He's got a shot on me already. Here comes the Mouse. The Mouse wants to come in. The STB's got some really nice DPM. I burn that guy down. I get rammed by their STB. I'm going to try to go around this way. And I get killed in the back by the Sturv right there. So overextended. Don't get a lot of damage out of it. The STB did help me. We killed the tank, but probably not the greatest result right there. So with more support potential, look how many we got down here hanging out. This ends up being a serious loss right here. So like I said, it's been back and forth, but it has been fun. I don't know if I have a replay on it, but we had another version where we got here and we killed 4 or 5 tanks that jumped on us because we had 3 or 4 tanks. They tried to peel us out of here, and we ended up winning that game. El Halouf. Again, another map that has some definite options. One thing this tank does excel at is getting down here in the south. This is a bit of a sideshow, and especially from the north spawn, it's not great. I think it's a little more useful from the southwest spawn. But for this battle, I decided to get up here as fast as possible and see if I could surprise people with how fast I was there. Now, anyone who pays attention to the different tanks, and unfortunately I get spotted because a light tank is probably down here trying to counter the Mana Core. You'll often get light tanks. So one of their light tanks was down here, unfortunately for me. I would assume it's the 13105 since that's the only one that they've got. So it's not like I'm getting up here unseen, but I am in position to hit anybody. You can see how I immediately hit X. I am in position to hit somebody who wants to come along this way. So we'll go ahead and hang out. Speed this thing up a bit. It takes a while for them to show up. There we go. And we put a shot into the K91. T22 comes up. And that's more or less what I wanted to show you here, because I think we actually get overrun on this one. We'll speed this thing up quite a bit. Yep. Yeah, you'll notice we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our tanks either at cap or look at all these mediums just back here. This ends up being an absolute massacre, I believe, is there right here. Trying to get a shot on this guy. He sneaks one on me. That hurt. Not a lot of armor on this thing. And I don't know if maybe we go into speed mode looking for a shot. It actually works out. We kill that dude. Back to speed, come up the hill. Back to combat. Trying to get a shot on these guys. And I think they just kill us, basically. Or do I get away? I don't remember. Here we go. So we run off. This is one thing that the tank does excel at, is getting away. Although I will take some shots because I waited a little long. At least I'm nice and fast. We're just going to rage all the way back here. That's right, forgot about this. We'll just keep on running. There's the light tank that lit me. Look at all of our mediums still sitting back at cap. You can see that this is just going poorly. That actually blew my mind. I was still spotted by those guys way back there, but just in the spotting ring. Artie actually shoots at me as fast as I am, and as many tanks are sitting around, the Artie is actually shooting at me. And he did get a piece of me. And we'll head back up here. I'm going to end up fighting as best I can up here. I don't think I get anything really extra out of it. So I just want to show you that part. I'm able to completely reposition. This just ends up being an exercise in farming some damage right here. But I wanted to show you that because its ability to get out of dodge is pretty darn good. We're at a different view of Karelia, this time on defense, which changes the way this map plays quite a bit. Obviously, the donut circle area down here in the southeast becomes less important. It's more of a sniper nest than anything. Not really a place that you fight. You're going to fight for the two hills, the one in the northeast and the one in the southwest. And this tank gives you an opportunity to do something like this. Now, unfortunately, I get a 60 TP that gets really lucky here. How much exposure you make is important. I get a little bit overexposed here. So I get spotted by these guys, and then it gives the dudes coming up the ramp time. So I came way too close. Look how much exposure. I should be maybe up here along the road potentially. Actually, that road might not be a bad... That might not be a bad guide right on the other side of that road, because what happens is I get popped, unbelievable, by a 60 TP and lose 800, and he high rolls an 896. Goodness gracious. So I lose a bunch of hit points in doing that. But the point is, you have an opportunity to get up here and kind of spot and see what's going on, and then get off. And then get off the hill right there. And just poor execution on my part, so I don't think it makes that move any less effective. And the cool thing is, potentially, as we get up here, is if you find another light tank, or if you find a light tank or a fast medium, you might be able to get a good old ram on them and take a bunch of hit points from them. So just something to think about. Again, overexposure is always a problem. Unfortunately, I did so, but I think that can be done a lot better, and just give a good information on what's coming up the hill right there. Good old Abbey. North spawn, south spawn. The north spawn has a huge advantage getting in here because it's much more protected. The south spawn has a problem because, and we'll probably see another replay of it, but this big open spot makes guys coming from the south getting into the Abbey very vulnerable. But from the north spawn, you're in pretty good shape provided you can get there. The nice thing with something this fast is you have a much better opportunity to get up and in there before you get shot, as the TDs try to get into their sniper spots, and it's possible that you get through here without being spotted. So I'm just going to absolutely rage in here now. I do get spotted, he shows up, but I am well past, and that's another CS63 actually. I'm well past there, and I'm able to come in. So either his spawn position, or he got hung up with somebody, or hesitated on his decision, whatever the case may be. I'm able to come up in here, and now I'm just going to turtle up against the side here. And he kind of continues in. I'm going to go to combat mode. And if he's still in speed mode, he's going to have really bad dispersion. Excuse me. So I put a shot on him. Now he's got another buddy coming in, and all of a sudden now I'm overexposed, right? I've got two mediums. It's just me and a light tank. We do have some help from the north here, potentially, if they can get some shots in. But again, a good example of, I'm able to take an important spot. I'm able to get there first, but is it going to go well because I'm already in a big scrap with these guys? So I'm just going to have to try to go as hold down here as possible. I'm probably going to... I was thinking I would eat a shot from the 430U, but he bounced it. We kill that guy, and I'm still in pretty good shape. So 430U, absolutely big pain in the rear. Get one into his lower plate. My light tank is helping me out. And now it just becomes a bit of a DPM battle. Another shot in the 430U. Light tank gets him. I think I eat one more, unfortunately. I'd love to have him miss. There we go. Nope, I actually got him, didn't I? I guess he didn't get another shot in there. So, STB-like capability in terms of DPM, able to take that spot, had an ally. You don't always get that, but we lock that down, and we take out two tanks trying to get up there and take us on. So, a lot of fun. You know, a lot of this, I didn't mention it earlier, really applies to any fast tank. So this is more or less a tutorial and talking a lot about fast tanks, early damage, forward positions, that kind of thing right there. So we're able to take this spot, and I think I have a pretty good game after that. Good old Ruinberg, North Spawn, encounter mode. You can see I'm halfway down the road. So I'm going into that nook I like right here. The problem with this forward position, it's right there, is supported, it's a great position. Unsupported, it's not great, and you can get locked down. I just wanted to show you the speed of this thing. A lot of times you take damage trying to get in there, and unless there's something else very fast, like a CS or a light tank, Leopard PTA, that kind of stuff, you have a really good opportunity to get into this position unknown. So I'm going to come in here, power slide this bad boy, turn into combat mode, and just turn around and see if we can start getting some shots on people. So I'm watching if anyone's coming that way. This surprises me. We get the Patton crossing, so I get a shot on him. And then what happens next kind of surprised me. So I'm right there, and all's looking good. All of a sudden, there's a 277 over in that spot over there. I don't even know if he knows I'm there. I just noticed him right there. Yep, so he's looking at me. I'm thinking, great. That is not good. Standard B rages in. A shot on him. Try to make it as hard as possible for him to shoot me, so we'll just use this armor. He takes a hit. Auto aim. Trying to minimize damage. He's in a hurting status. We'll come out and we'll pop him. So he thought he was going to come in, clip me out, maybe get some help from the 277. Didn't really get much. Why? 277 can't come out because the G-SOAR and the other guys are up there. And I get locked down here. So that's the basic problem with this. And I'm just going to go fast forward here because it looks like we're about to win. He and I do a little bit of trading. He's got the advantage with a better turret. You can see I've eaten some more damage, up to 3,000 damage. It's looking good, actually. Look what we got. We got advantage of 4-1, but watch what happens here. Going to watch the advantage start to go away. It's even looking better, 6-2. Not having very good luck with this guy. I'm up to 3,500 damage, right? Everything's looking kosher. And here's our critical mistake. All these guys start pushing in to their heavies over there, and they do a rather poor job of it. I cannot get out of here because the 277 and the RHM, right? The second I get out, I'm getting shot in the back by the 277, potentially by the RHM. I'm locked down by that guy over there. They recently changed this map, and that's a much stronger position. Also, I'm getting zero help from the guys above, really, who should have long ago taken out the G-SOAR. If you look at all these dudes up here, there's 3 tanks, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's it. It's just a G-SOAR. That's it. Had these guys pushed in and got rid of that guy, we could have then taken out the 277, but we just bleed our dudes down in town. Now the dudes in town are dead, and these guys let the G-SOAR get away. And I'm just trying to hang out here. I can't get away. The 277's got me locked down. I do get that dude dead. That's helpful. And then the 277 comes in on me. I'm getting already, I've got 4,600 damage, and then I'm dead at 46-43, right? So again, another example of the ability of this tank to get into positions, but depending on what the other side does, maybe not the greatest position. And that's where a lot of these really forward positions are. They're hard to get away from, especially if things go poorly. And we actually end up losing this game, unbelievably. Right, back to steeps, and because I'm a slow learner, I go to exactly the same spot. Just to see what can happen, right? Just to see what can happen here. Where's my goggles? I need my goggles. Ah, here they are. So I take this position. We're going to take a look, and all of a sudden I get pushed, right? I don't know what it is, but the North team just does not like you sitting in this position. I have a bunch of backup this time, but they're pretty far behind, so overextended again. But I'm going to take on the Centurion LX, or Centurion X. He actually gets... He gets the worst of that, right? So I've got controlled impact. So he, not very much worse, but a little bit. Now the Char comes in, he misses, and I'm like, well, I'm done. I'm just a dead man, right? Surely I'll be dead in seconds. I will say one thing about these forward positions and screaming out with pants on head stupidity. It can often be pretty fun. It really can. He actually bounces the kill shot. Right? He has to be enraged because he has no more shells, and the Charfuture reloads in about 4 ice ages. So we get some shots on him. He's never going to reload. VZ hits him. He's trying to run away. Wants to hide if he can. I'm getting hit by Artie. I got stunned but not hit. The Char's in big old trouble. Absolutely. Just an absolute menace. And then here comes a Panzer VII, nearly, well, not full hit points, I guess 2/3 maybe or so. And I'm thinking, well, this is really going to be it. I see this guy coming in. See if we can hit him. There we go. Oh, he wants to ramp. Nope. Loses every hit point he has. And we have 4 of them dead. I've got 3,728 in the first, minute and 45 seconds. All right. Does it always go that way? Absolutely not. It's a pretty funny result right there, though. I did enjoy that quite a bit. But here's the thing. So many of the things. Here's one of the things. If you're going to play the game like this, and I actually enjoy playing the game like this, enjoy yourself while it happens. And if good stuff happens, that's awesome. To a large extent, I would much rather have that game, quite honestly, and die than hide in a bush for 15 minutes sniping at people. I just enjoy that. This tank will allow you to do that. And the thing is, unlike a scout, because this is kind of one of the big concepts of this video, unlike a scout going in that position, you just don't have the staying power. This thing does. It has enough, in many cases, to do something like this. Now, I had some help from my friends. Fantastic. All the snipers back there shredded him of every hit point he had. He just absolutely got massacred. When I came up for air at the end of that little scrum, I had a pretty good laugh. I'm not even sure I made any more damage because I was trying to make sure I didn't get splashed by one of the arties right there. Kharkov Dorf. I think I might have another example of this, but in general, I had multiple games on this map, and I was able to either get into this bush, and from both sides, by the way, because there's a bush similar to this one on the other side. Get into this bush and surprise people. Maybe this bush. The problem with this one is, especially this tier, is usually there will be a light tank with a CVS. So that is your nemesis as far as trying to counter scouts. If you're going to scout positions that also have bushes for their scouts, CVS will ruin your day. I've been thinking about potentially putting a CVS on this tank, but I haven't done it. And about here in my journey, the first tanks, or the first replays I showed you were when I was really just working on early positions and pants on head kind of gameplay. I started to dial that back ever so slightly, and then I went into the RAM thing. And I started trying to think more and more about RAM opportunities and the ability of this thing to break flanks by raging in and taking out medium tanks and light tanks, potentially heavy tanks. So we've done this here on Kharkov Dorf. We're doing okay. We've got 4 of them dead. We've only lost 2 in the city. So we need to clean this up because the city's not doing so hot right now. And I'm starting to get the guys who were camping back here have moved up with me because we've done some good work over here. And I've gone into fast mode. So that's one of the big things about ramming is you would like to be as fast as possible. So I click fast mode. I know I may take some hits, but I don't care. I'm just going to come at this guy. I miss with the shot. I don't care. We'll ram him. Artie helps me out, and we're able to just knock that guy right out, and we'll keep moving, right? And the thing about the fast mode is when you're trying to get up underneath people, you really got to keep moving as best you can. I'm going to hit forward and repair all that little wiggle jiggle, and we're on here headed up after these guys. And I'm just going to continue with the ram, right? I'm not even going to give these guys time to breathe. We'll just do that. That's what I'm talking about right there, baby. Absolutely awesome. I don't think I get a shot. Do I get another ram? I don't think so. Maybe. Let's push in here and see what we do. Okay, yep. Do I find a guy back here? I don't remember. There we go. Oh, yeah, this was going to be a... No, I guess I do get a ram on this guy, I think. Yep, there we go. Third ram. The third one. The third one in the game, baby. Down to 34 hit points. That was 490. Took all of his hit points off on that. Do I get any more? I don't think so. No. And that is... So that's where I started talking about or thinking about doing more rams. Mines. What about mines? Well, it's pretty good at taking the hill. And it will typically be one of the first tanks up there. You've also got the ram situation. So any light tanks you encounter first can be rammed. So it is really good for taking the hill on mines. Obviously, you want to have some help. It looks like we got a good train. I didn't show you the comments, but everyone's basically saying take the hill. They have a lot of tanks that can take the hill as well, so let's just watch how this thing goes. I have HE loaded up. The dispersion circle is massive, but every once in a while it actually works out for getting a lock on people, so I'm going to go ahead and just blap him. And it hit, right? So total RNG. I try to ram the bat chat, but he just gets by me. So we're going to chase him, and I know he's not loaded, right? He's hating life, so I'm just chasing him with HE. I get him for 500 or so. He's trying to not get hit, but he's going to end up stopping, and then boom, I get him for another chunk at that point. 801, folks. 801 on the ram. Light tank, I'm much heavier, going nice and fast, and we clean this guy off, and we have the hill, right? Just so many options with this tank. So give me a second, because I want to show you one other thing on this game as well. I say give me a second like you're going to wait long, but just kind of, I don't know. I don't know why I said that. This has gone on for a while. We've got 8 minutes left. You can see that it's pretty even, although we have a good advantage. The problem is we have 2 FVs and a JPZ, a number of mediums. So we have a problem here because being able to push in all these guys, we've been at it for a while. The VZ's blighting us every time we come to the edge. I can't get any shots. Nobody can move forward because of the big TDs. I've got 3,300 damage, doing pretty good, and I say, well, you know what, it's time for a run. So I go into fast mode, and we'll just head on down the hill. And the intention here is to get rid of the VZ and tuck up underneath all of these TDs by getting up into this position right here. Right, so protecting myself from them, but then I can use the ramp and make a mess of everything. So they kill our 277. I just rage in on this guy. There he is. I don't get a shot. He misses, thank goodness. He's on a reload, so we're just going to head on in here. The good news is that I believe, yeah, the Badger follows. So we're going to go ahead and tuck in, and down goes the VZ thing. And now I am up underneath these guys. Go into combat mode, and now I can start spotting them. There we go. Now we know where this dude is. He's actually going to have a hard time shooting me because I'm going to sneak up here and boom, little shot into his lower plate. Got to watch the FVs over there. I am going to out-reload this guy for sure, so we'll come up here and try to get another shot. I am chancing it a little bit with the FV there, but if he pokes out, he's going to get dead. So he does have to be careful. You can see the other one's now staring at me, so I'll stop doing that for a moment. See if we can scare these guys or get them to back up a little bit. I'm thinking maybe the JPZ is going to come at me here. He actually gives me an opportunity here by moving too far forward to get into his lower plate. Gets hit twice, and I think, well, let's just take a chance and remove this guy from the game. Down he goes. Shots coming back at me from over there, but you can see it's difficult to get shots on me. That's a great tuck position. That is a hard place to get into, right? Very difficult. Now, a light tank can do it, but I brought a medium tank in there with the DPM of the medium tank and the pen and the 390 Alpha. And now I'm just a terror up underneath those guys. So it's one of the few tanks that can really do that. And it does carry some armor capability with it. So that is this. While this move can be done by a number of tanks, this is one of the best tanks at doing it in the game. That kind of thing where we come in here and we break down this defense because of its ability to get into places and be highly effective in those places, much better than other tanks. We end up winning that game. Another example, this time on Himmels River, Perldorf. Again, able to get up into the middle before anybody can do anything about it. Go right into combat mode, turn around. And this can happen from both sides. On this map, it is roughly even as far as who can get up there. I would say in general, it feels like the west spawn has an advantage here, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. The other thing about getting to the positions like this first is it will often induce the rest of your team to get there as well, which means you'll get some backup. They already see you there, so they'll come up and support. Not always. Sometimes you just get plain old left out to dry, but that ended up working out pretty nicely for me, right? So I'm going to come over here. Now, I'm going to show you this part. This is probably a whole nother video, but the STB-1 has called someone a noob, right? He's hanging out right there. Somebody said something to him. I'm busy farming damage. You know, I'm busy shooting stuff. I'll show you what I'm doing with my camera in a minute. I'm trying to find shots, trying to work guys in the middle, all that good stuff. All right. So there's some comments from the STB. Then somebody says something about you can't push a T95, which, hey, well, I won't even say that. Somebody, you know, whatever. I don't know what's going on. I guess, whatever. People are idiots. Anyway, so then he drops his, I need to translate that because I'm not sure what that means. And here comes the STB, right? And I don't really pay much attention. I don't even see that chat until this replay afterwards. So here's me, right? I'm here. The STB's coming up behind me, right? So I'm just shooting. The STB goes there. Drives right in front of where I am. I'm like, all right. I see him, so just trying to work around him. There we go. All right. So I was in this position, making it happen, right? So we do this. Now look where he is. I need room to back out, right? Now I'm not doing anything. This is what I'm doing. I'm not paying attention to what this guy. Now I see. I'm like, well, shit, man. You know, Let me get a little wiggle. Let me get out of the way there. Let me. Now he's clicking on me, telling me to withdraw. A position I was already working. Right? Comes in, gets in behind me, and now he's telling me to withdraw. It gets better though, right? I am not doing anything to try to get in this dude's way. I'm just sitting here using this position. I don't want to be out in the open. I want to use as much of this cover as possible. So here we go, right? Shooting. Trying to find a shot. Okay, he's clicking fall back again. Now look what he's doing, right? I don't even know. I'm busy trying to shoot this guy. I'm like, all right, let me get this. Oh, I missed him. Okay. Then I'm like, oh, well, okay, whatever, dude. Use me as armor. That's fine. See if I can get a shot here. Oh, cool. That worked. All right, back. Oh, geez. Oh, boy. Now I'm kind of pushed up a little bit here. Can't quite get that shot. What about this dude? This is what he's doing. He's pushing me, right? That's fantastic. Yeah, you just gotta love people like this, right? You're using the spot. He comes in. He's behind you to use you as armor. Tells you to fall back to get out of his... Look at him. He's trying to push me. Like, whatever, dude. Let's go around here. Of course, I have to let him know. Ask him politely to stop. I missed that shot. Oh, now I'm trying to get out of his way. I actually considered pushing the dude out, and then he leaves. So I'm like, whatever. Off he goes. Gotta love it, man. All right, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Safe Haven. We're going to go ahead and head up to the hill right there. Nice fast tank. As I mentioned earlier, some of these early spots, the usefulness of getting there a little earlier can be questionable, especially when you start talking about light tanks with CVS that can counter you and are just about, if not faster than you, getting up there. But as you can see, it's 30 seconds in. I'm going to get up there by about 45 seconds, all the way up the hill. Problem is we don't have a lot of help. We end up losing this. As you might imagine, we lose this game a lot to not much. I come up here, go into combat mode, and I'm spotted immediately. So their mana core is somewhere in one of those bushes. That's what I wanted to show you right there. Yes, I got there, but be careful with that. If they have something that has CVS, and of course other medium tanks can carry a CVS, actually shoot in there looking for a shot. So that's what I wanted to show you on Japanport or on Crouching Tiger, Hidden Safe Haven. I don't know where a better place to be is. Maybe into this middle part, especially down low, but had I done that, I'd have met face-to-face with a Progetto 65. That's one thing that autoloaders are good at, especially sustainable ones like a Progetto. He can get in there and maul things. So, very difficult, very difficult. Better if I had a lot of help, which I don't, so that ends up being a problem. But there you go. That's how fast you can get up there. Berlin. Now, this map's going to change, so this positioning I'm showing you right here may be short-lived. It's not that big of a surprise. It's been going on for a while. We're in 3 minutes. I didn't show you the whole preliminary thing, but we do have quite a few guys hanging out here, and we are winning well. The heavies are kicking butt over here. We haven't really killed anything that I'm aware of. Maybe the Skoda T50 over here. Just wanted to show you kind of how this goes right here. I'm going to go into speed mode. We're winning by a bunch, 6-0. This is another one of those examples of what the speed on this thing can do as far as kind of getting in on people. And here we go, right? It just has the speed and to some extent the survivability to push in. I know I'm going to take hits, and this is why I was just kind of doing pants on head stuff still during my testing of this thing and playing it. Be careful with this tank on getting sideways because you're going to scrub off a bunch of your speed. So you want to steer into the turn if you start to slide. And I know there's someone up here, so I'm going to come in. Now, what I wanted to show you here is how bad the dispersion is on this thing. We get this guy auto-aimed, and I need to get close. So I get in close. I should have rammed him, and I was trying to. I don't know if you noticed, I got tracked. So I was going for the ram. I get tracked. Now I'm kind of in trouble right here. He misses. So he's having a hard time keeping his gun on me. I sort of leave. This was probably a mistake. I should have stayed in tight. My concern was there were so many guns up there. There actually happens to be a WT. There's that dispersion. I just plain old missed, and that was pretty close. Go for the ram that time. I scrub off 266. Although he gets 225 off of me. So I wouldn't say that was 100% a win by me. We end up, I think, was that my kill or no? Nope. I shot but didn't kill him. I guess somebody else killed him. And then I get deaded by the WT. The route is on. It ends up being a win. I only have 1,500 damage right there, but just another example potentially of the capability of this thing to get in and kind of get into the end game and start mauling people. But you are going to be limited in terms of your dispersion when you're in fast mode. It's unfortunate I missed that ram. The whole purpose of that rush in was to ram somebody who was in that bush, and I got tracked, which people are gonna do. Smart people will track you on purpose because they see you coming at Mach snot and they don't want to get rammed by you right there. I've increased the win rate in this thing to over 60%. I have about 77 battles right now. So I've won many more than, not many, I've won more than I've lost. I'm doing pretty good so far. At 77, low sample size, so that could certainly drop down. Considering I was at about 30% when I started at about 20 battles, I think it's gone pretty well. However, howsomever, when it goes bad, when you're doing this pants on head stupid, it goes bad. I got into Himmelsdorf. I said, all right, the obvious one is, hey, how fast can I get to the hill and surprise them? Okay, yeah, I think we can do that, absolutely. I was well aware that could happen. I might have an example of it later. But I'm looking at Himmelsdorf going, what else can I do with this thing? Maybe, can I get into that northwest corner and really disrupt them and maybe lock that down and shoot guys in the side? Well, you might be able to if you don't get spotted. But if you get spotted that early, as fast as you are, you're never going to be fast enough to get in there before these guys get in the corner. There's the Grill A. He hits me. The JPZ, actually he damaged my track and didn't track me. The JPZ slams me for 1055. As slow as a JPZ is, he was in position, and as fast as I am, he was in position to do this. So I go into combat mode. We'll come over here. I'm going to get one shot on this dude, and I miss. I may have even hit the rock backing up. I don't know. That guy is aware, and now I'm down. So it's just a complete disaster, right? I'm out of hit points. I've done a whole 421. I'm not disrupting crap because there's a couple guys back here, but they're not really in a position to support. I'm down to a one shot, and the best thing I can do is maybe hide behind this little building right here and hope for the best, right? Maybe some guys will come up. The thing about this position is it does require a lot of support from back here, and while I do have some tanks, they're not in a great position to support. So if I had all my hit points, maybe might have been able to do something, but just fast forward this thing. Holy cow. Not able to get a shot on him because I don't reload in time. I'm up to 818. I do have some assist. I'm trying to look for a way to maybe shoot this Goulet down here. I think he actually backs out. I get a shot and I think he just backs out. Yeah, oh, never mind. The VZ just drives around behind, right? He just... And you will get this. I want to say he dies or he takes some good hits. Maybe he doesn't even die. He takes a hit. So sometimes positions like that, as they try to peel you out because they don't want you there. It's like the red cape for the bull, right? They want to get you out of there. They don't like you there. It has some utility. You're in their face. You're able to pop out and shoot them. They don't like that. So sometimes they'll push into you and suffer a lot of damage. I've got 1,600 assists, but 1,600 assists and 800 damage, that's helped, but it's not really going to be decisive in a tier 10 battle right there. And it's not like I locked down some good terrain or anything. I'm out of the game, almost first out of the game, and not a lot to show for it. I don't really recommend this move. I can't see where it would work. I haven't talked about it. What would be very, very interesting with these tanks is to do this and some of this stuff in a platoon, where you can trade some hit points or help each other. You've got the DPM of 3 of these things. You got the RAMs of 3 of these. You know, I think 3 of them crossing right there, getting in this corner, would have absolutely decimated anything that was trying to get into this corner. But that was not today, was it? Let's just cover El Haluf, the southeast corner, for just a minute. I don't know how much utility this corner has, to be honest. It's quite situational. I have a lot of guys back there backing me up. I got here early. I do have 1,016 assists, so we did drop some damage on guys. I go to combat mode, and I start coming up here, and now I get thumped by the Leopard. And it should have been right here. And this is what you've got to do when you're playing this aggressively. You have to accept that the aggressive play did not work, and to continue to press the same aggressive play now that they have reacted and they understand that you're there is probably not going to go very well. So I keep pushing up here. I'm actually going to run into, I think, the LT-100 the T100 LT. So I go into super mode, and I'm thinking, well, I'll just speed over here and take on the Leopard, because I have a pretty good turret, and he doesn't. But guess what? They're a fast tank. So the best move now is to bail out of this. So I've locked in. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to fast mode. By golly, I'm going. I should have just taken that and go, you know what? I'm outnumbered 2-1. I don't really have any support that can help me. Turn back around, go turtle up, or maybe even run around the corner right there and reassess. But I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go get him. Well, of course, the Leopard pops up and over, and he's not too exposed to those guys. And at this point, I'm thinking ram time. So we get a little bit of a ram out of him, but I'm not really up to speed because I'm heading up the hill, and I get a little bit of damage. And basically, I just get absolutely massacred right here. I think the 100 LT, yeah, I get one more shot, and he's able to put his gun on and kill me, and I'm out of the game. 1,259, 1,420. So, hey, man, it's fine. Take those forward positions, get the speed of the tank involved, try to disrupt and surprise, but if you're now disrupted and surprised, bail out instead of just obstinately continue with the same failing strategery. George spawned into the west side, and I've taken this position. This is a great tank for taking this position. Lots of other tanks, mediums, you can see even the Concept 1B has managed to get here, and you can start punishing guys in the side, and it's a great spot for this tank. Other mediums can make it, but he gets there and can surprise people. And we start tearing up the Sturv K right there. So, as you might imagine, I did not try from the other spawn, from the east spawn, coming up the road and getting up onto the top. This just doesn't seem like an extremely useful position. There is no arty, so it might be better than normal right there, but this Leopard 1's in kind of trouble. He's perma-lit, and there's a bunch of us down here. But yes, you should be able to, with this tank, get up this road without taking any damage, unless another fast tank like this or one of the scouts can get here and shoot you. But if you got that straight shot and you go straight up that ramp, you can get where the Leopard did. That's what he did. I actually got a shot on him, so one of my damaging shots is on the Leopard right there. Later in that same game, we're winning by a mile, and I know that the ram is on it. I've got 3,789, mostly farmed from that position, although I did move into the town and do some good work right there. Unfortunately, someone took a bunch of hit points off the W2. I was really hoping that I'd be able to do the full ram on this guy. The 6x6 got a piece of him, so I'm just going to... Oh, and I just barely make it. And he's doing his damnedest to get out of the way. So I clean him out, but it was only 184 damage or so. 165. He did 184 to me. He actually did more to me based on I had the hit points to give. I don't know what that ram would have been otherwise, but he didn't have the hit points to give right there, and it ends up being a win there. Late game, we haven't talked about it too much, but mid to late game with hit points like this thing has, the ramming part of it gives you options. As in, say you're taking on two guys. You go in, lock on, auto aim on one guy, shoot him on the way in, and ram the other one. You know, you're getting a twofer right there. Or lock on the guy you're going to ram, shoot him, and ram him. You're going to do more damage generally unless you're running into a mouse or something late game right there. It just gives you a bunch of options, especially if you have hit points to really strip a lot of hit points off. You saw I did 800 to the bat chat. So the lighter mediums and things and paper TDs like this are just going to get decimated by the rams when you're going full speed. Not a lot of hit points left. Winning by a significant amount. T10's down here, and I'm just going to give all my hit points for the cause. The FE takes a hit. I think he takes another big hit by somebody here. We lock him up. Takes a couple more. He's on fire and finished. Sacrificing the tank for the cause. 3972. 696. We take that guy out. Fisherman's Dorf Bay. One of the campier maps, one of the harder maps to play fast. The opportunity to play fast on this map is on the 1-2 line if you can get people up underneath, either from the north or the south. It tends to work better from the south going north. I'll show you what I mean. I told everybody that's what I was doing. This was, again, in the phase of figuring out what I can get away with in this tank, right? That's a lot of what we were doing with this tank, a lot of what I was doing. What can I get away with? And if I get a nice face-to-face ram and obliterate somebody and then die, I didn't even care. It's just pants on head stupid time right here. The thing, though, about this is it does take them a little while to get into position up here. And you never really know. Sometimes they send 10 tanks here. Sometimes it's 3. You don't know. I am selling out. But I'm looking at this going, well, the FE's not that fast. I should probably beat him. Even the T30's not that fast. Maybe the Sturv or the WZ and maybe some mediums could get in there and punish me a little bit. But I am about as fast as you can get. And again, in the whole concept of a medium tank getting this far forward is much more dangerous than a light tank getting this far forward. So I titled this one, God, you know, pants on fire, you're just losing it. We're just going to come up here, we'll auto-aim this guy, and just take a quick shot. I did that in fast mode, right? Whatever, it's so close. I'll just auto-aim and take a shot. Down he goes. I was kind of curious if the 907 might come across and over the hill right there. And a couple of the guys had indicated that they would come with me. So I got the Roger, or hey, let's do it. And we've got the K91, the T54, and one of these guys I think is Fractured Raptor from the forums. He sent me a note afterwards, or maybe it was on the forums itself. I don't remember. He's anonymous, so he wasn't running with his name. And he mentioned something at the end about how fun that was. So the 907's repositioned. He knows he needs to lock us down. And then I see the T54 make a move. I'm like, whatever, let's do it. 3 of us, right? We should be able to take this guy down. And I shoot my buddy. Unfortunately, that wasn't great. I'm still in fast mode, but I'm so close that it doesn't really matter, right? There we go. So the 907's in big trouble. I'll just follow him, and we turn around. Here comes the T30. And I'll just push up underneath him, right? There's no sense in letting him have a couple free shots. We'll sneak up in here. He takes a shot. Now he's just getting absolutely obliterated. Again, I'm still running with the fast mode. Come in here. We'll get a ram on him. There we go. Take out some more hit points. Down he goes. And we completely collapsed the flank, right? You do have to be careful because you've seen this happen. We only killed 3. It's a good start. It's a good start. But if we YOLO into a bunch of guns, and they have a bunch of guns, they can easily start stripping us out of the game because some of us are wounded. So the pressure needs to be kept on them, but we got to be careful about being completely idiotic about it. So I'm going to go into combat mode here. Thinking about it, maybe I can get shots. These guys are all bailing out, so let's take some sniper shots. They know they're in trouble, so they're making a runner. I missed that guy by miles. Move in here and see if we can get another shot on him, but he's down below cover. Guys are all hiding. I'm like, crap. There's the Skirta T50, and I'm going to go into fast mode. So look at the amount of map we got. We've killed another one of them, the Progetto 46. We have guys in great position. Now we have so many guns in such good position that now the pants on head YOLO stupidity can start. Right? Give it a little bit of time, let everybody catch up and go, ooh, we're winning by miles. We have 3/4 of the map, and the K91 is heading in. I'm like, nope, I want that. I want some of that spotting as well. And we find the Sturv S1. He's just sitting there. Get nice and close and fire. You might get a shot. Nope, it didn't matter. And boom, we'll go ahead and dodge that. Here we come with the CS Basante C54. Oh, there's a T Skirta right there. We'll hit him. We'll kill him. There we go. And now I'm so overexposed. It's time for me to die. Time for me to fly. Time for me to die. They're all hanging out down this lowland, so I'm in big old trouble right here. I try to get away, but it doesn't really work out very well. There we go. One more shot of damage. Looking for somewhere to hide. Maybe this is the place. Nope. Okay, let's ram that guy. No, it doesn't matter. Basante has decided if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to kill that guy that got in there. We end up with 2639, 1,751. Maybe, if I was a smarter man, I'd have been a little more careful in all that, and I probably could have gathered up some more damage. But who cares, man? That was a lot of fun. Just full rage. We end up winning that one pretty handily. K91 kills that guy off. We never give him a chance to get set. We don't even let them get into the attrition Sniper Reno camp fest that this map is. And basically what we did is how you break down the flanks on this map, but usually there's a lot more attrition and time taken up. If you've got enough fast tanks, you can make that happen. Notice the T54, the K91, which is a fast TD. T42, some others followed up. Look at all the mediums that went into the middle that are now doing sniper-lamma ding-dang from up there. The heavies held long enough in the city, and it looks like their 705 wasn't really in a phase 1, weren't interested in trying to take them on anyway, and this is just an absolute massacre. Another quick ram. There's a grill sitting right down here. He's in big trouble. We'll just auto-aim him. I want the ram. I don't even bother shooting him. Just to get rid of that guy. Now, really, any medium could probably do that, but what did I take off of him? He still did a pretty good amount of damage at 228 on me right there. The 268 version 4 is mad because he got farmed by the grill sitting in the middle, but none of us were able to push in on that guy. I think this actually ends up being a loss right here. There are other fast builds in the game. So don't get the idea that this is the only tank that can do a lot of this stuff. I've already mentioned the Leopard and Leopard PTA. They're both fast. There's other tanks that are pretty fast. Even the M60 is pretty fast. The really scary one is the IS-7. Now you notice the two IS-7s have gone across the bridge. I did not notice that at the time. So I'm fighting these guys over here, doing the best I can. We're on Himmel's Mountain Pass, Dorf. Boom, look at that. And he's actually bushed up. So I just took a hit from the IS-7 behind those bushes over there. And I'm in big trouble, right? So I pushed in here thinking I'm going to get some lights. We've got that hill, so I'm not going to get shot in the back. Little did I know I was going to get shot from the stinking bridge. And then I thought, well, now I'm going to have to go over there, right? The problem is we haven't come around the corner, so I don't know what else is there. Also, that guy, the Pat. So I'm in big trouble no matter what I do. Spin around, now I take a hit from him. And just another example of these spots can be extremely dangerous. He's got all kinds of, yeah, see, and then I get YOLO'd by the 121. It's a nightmare, right? It's all over. I get shot in the back, shot in the front, shot in the side. Everyone's just shooting me. Can I get one more? Nope, can't. IS-7 finishes me off. Awesome. All right, another example. Abbeydorf, again headed to the middle. Remember what I talked about earlier in the video? How the south side does not have much of an advantage doing this. It's also a bit of a longer drive, it feels like. It is certainly a more exposed drive, because look how much more open it is to shots. This side can actually hug the buildings and protect themselves from this sniper nest. You don't have that ability, and I just got grenade, right? So as fast as I am. Oh, by the way, other fast tanks. The EBR, one of the faster tanks in the game, or the fastest tank in the game, has beaten me there. I'm going to come around here, and I'm thinking, ooh, I'm going to ram the Grille or take a shot. Here we go. We got him. No problem. Okay. Oh, boy. FV'd. 1,240. So the last couple have been kind of cautionary tales. What did I learn? I have one more example I'm going to show you about repositioning, because we haven't talked too much about that. What have I learned after all of that pants-on-head stuff? The standard positions are still good. The tank is really good for getting there first and getting early damage. There are a couple spots here and there which are sort of unique to it, but most of those require you to have support or a good team backing you up. The example where a couple back where we just steamrolled them around the going up the 1-2 line is a great example of that, and there are positions and places in the game where that can work really well. But if it's a place your Leopard or PTA or fast tier 8 tank, medium tank is going to go and get overexposed and die, this one will just do it a little faster. You know what I mean? If it's a protected position, a place where you know you're going to run into light tanks, this thing is a monster. So careful aggression is the order of the day with this thing. Just like any other day. It just has some great capabilities and speed-wise to be the first one to those places. But if you try to step it a couple steps forward of where you usually go, or places that are definitely overexposed, thinking just the speed and the fact that it's a tier 10 medium will save you. You can on occasion have great games, but in general you'll end up like this in 30 seconds, blowed up from 2 shots. One last example. All right, last example is a reposition example. I'll show you some of the preliminaries because taking this ditch can be extremely good in this game. Look how fast. I'm right here with the EBRs. That's how fast I am. Look how far ahead of the rest of them I am, and there's some relatively fast tanks right there. So we're going to dive into this ditch, and I almost got a ram. He just got away from me just. We'll blap him. I'm actually getting some ram damage. Notice as I'm clipping him, ends up getting him some ram damage along the way. The 277 dives in, but look how many buddies I've got. And this just becomes a heck of a scrum right here. This is the thing I was talking about with health. I don't get much damage off of him. Don't hit him very hard. Plus he's pretty heavy relatively to me. And I don't think the Kron comes in. So what tends to happen on this map when this happens, when you win and maybe you kill a couple, you start feeling really good about yourself. But they're only down 2 tanks. We're up some pretty good hit points, but the fight really hasn't matured yet. If we all pile up into these buildings, who knows how many of these guys are there? right? And they'll be falling back into the bushes back here, and people get decimated. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to hang out here for a bit. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to fast forward because I mess around, and I decide as I'm watching this, you can see in the north, there was a medium tank. No, there wasn't. It was just the 100 LT. So we've got a light tank and a medium tank up here and just the 100 LT. This is sorted. The south is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and hit fast and come out of the ditch, and I'm going to go completely around to the entire other side of the map. So you'll notice that in a lot of these examples, I either died immediately or had a great game. There really was no in between playing that hyper aggressively. When I was a little more careful, so I went into the ditch. I don't think that's necessarily overextended unless they sent a lot. I knew I had a lot coming with me, so I was happy with that move. Look at that. That worked out. But instead of just pushing into them, again, pants on head, stupid, I decided to do a big reposition. And I had multiple games like this. Most of the good games I had big repositions like this involved. We're really starting to win. But what I need to do is collapse this northern flank so we can start to get around these guys. So I'm just going to bring the speed of this thing. I'm looking at the T-62 going, all right, he's got a lot of hit points. I'm in pretty good shape as well, hit points wise. So I'm going to go straight up and over. Light tank dies, but I'm really glad I'm here now, right? Because if I hadn't come over here, they would have won this northern spot and maybe then collapsed around on the 705s. But we're going to come over here. I'm going to surprise the crap out of this guy. Boom. Probably one of the larger ram damage efforts I had. 909. Now, he did 527, but I got 909 out of him. And I think I did some damage from the gun as well. He gets a shot on me. I'm just going to stay in combat or in fast mode to get another little ram damage out of him right there. And we kill him off. Just like that. So 3,025 and I start getting artied at this point. Ends up being a winning game. I die, I think, over by the tracks or something, but I get a little bit more damage out of that thing. And there you go. The big reposition. This is something that this tank does really well with the speed. Now, any fast medium can do the same thing, so it's a good tactical discussion in terms of anyone can reposition, but mediums-wise, this is the best one to do it speed-wise. It just didn't take me long to get around there and surprise the T-62. He had no idea that something like that was going to happen. He probably thought, all right, we're good. I've seen where most of their tanks are, whatever. Last I was seen was in the ditch. Maybe not that surprising that he hasn't seen me for a while, but boom, raging over the hill, taking these guys out. All right, there you go. So far, I have another 20 battles or so left in the CS63, but it's taught me actually a lot about the game. Things that I guess I kind of knew but didn't do too much. Or hadn't tried to do much, I guess is a better way to put it, in the recent past. So it really does open up some possibilities in the game, but I wouldn't say that it's the magical tank that does things nothing else does. It just does some things better than most of the medium tanks. All right, that's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. We will see ya.